Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and I am continuing my week-long coverage of E3 2018, moving on to Ubisoft's conference. And in all honesty, this one's probably going to be the toughest one for me to go over because there wasn't very much that appealed to me throughout the entire conference. That's not to say that they didn't have very good games. That's not to say that they weren't making things that were exciting for a lot of people. I'm just talking about me personally. They just didn't really show anything that blew me away, outside of a couple of titles, and I'll get into those. But before I get there, Tarks was telling me that I shouldn't be out in space, so let me change my background real quick. There we go. JT. I want to start off with the thing that excited me the most out of this entire thing, Just Dance. Alright, no, I'm just kidding. Just Dance sucks, yet people keep buying it. Just like Madden, just like NBA 2K, just like loot boxes, just like every single thing that comes out every single year that people keep falling for. But if there's an audience for it, they're going to keep making it. Great for those people that enjoy it. I didn't really care about that. But on to something that actually did excite me. Skull and Bones, where you take the role of a pirate on the open seas. And this one has a ton of potential. And showing the cinematic trailer of it with the graphics on these characters completely blew my mind. This right here, I actually had a moment where I was watching it and I was like, this is where we've come to as gamers in this age, 2018, where these characters in the games are looking ultra realistic. I am blown away. The 8-year-old in me, where I used to play Atari and NES, looking at these characters, I couldn't even imagine that we'd ever get to this point. But now here we are, and holy crap, it looks incredible. I'm not really sure what the gameplay is going to be like. Hopefully it's somewhere as good as what the graphics look like, so I'll be keeping an eye on that one. And the other game that completely took my breath away was Starlink, and with a couple of reservations. And even though they did come in with that big Star Fox announcement that they partnered with Nintendo to have him exclusively on the Switch, a couple of reservations I have with that. First off, what's the game going to be like if he's only exclusive to the Switch version? That means he can't be an integral part of the story, which makes me wonder how much of an impact is he going to actually make on the storyline and the gameplay itself. And that simple fact right there tempered a lot of my expectations and hopes for it, because it's not a Star Fox game, it's just Star Fox in a game. The other concern I have with that game is it showed that you have these little battleships that you can buy, and you can put on these attachments to add guns and change the mechanics of how the ship flies while you're controlling it. That looked like it was pretty fun, but now I'm getting to the point where I have so much crap in my house, I'm wondering, is this going to be really necessary? I kind of just want to play a game. Do I need to have all these toy attachments on top of the controller just to be able to play this game flying through space? And I don't want to sound overly negative, because it is a cool concept. Toys to Life has been run through the mud recently, and maybe this gives it a chance to have a little bit of revitalization. But again, I'm not super excited about that. I kind of wish it was just a straight up outer space shooter game. But we'll see how that one goes as well. Hopefully they don't overcharge too much for the ship pieces and parts when they start actually selling them individually. And the other game that I'm somewhat excited about was Beyond Good and Evil 2. But again, like most games at E3 this year, it seems to be a trend, they're not giving the release date for it. So I don't know when to even get excited for this game. Last year they showed a trailer for it. This year they showed a trailer for it. They're still not giving a release date for it. So I really don't know what to think about it at this point. I'm just going to lock that away in my memory bank for a while, because I know it's not coming out for a long time. And that's really frustrating to me. And finally, they ended the show with their biggest hitter, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And honestly, watching the gameplay of this trailer, it was kind of a snore fest. And this is coming from someone, I'm going to reveal my bias. I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan out there. I've tried playing a couple of the games. They seem way too repetitive, way too mission-based, way too go here, do this, get this, bring it to this guy, do this, pass the level, and do it all over again. And it just seems to run all together. All the Assassin's Creed up to Black Flag seem basically the same. Black Flag was a little bit different, a little bit more fun on the open seas battling, but it still wasn't up my alley as far as games that I really enjoy playing. And unfortunately, watching Assassin's Creed Origins gave me the same vibe. It almost felt like they were trying to be like a Zelda, Skyrim mixed with God of War. They couldn't be original, so they just started mixing in all these other games together that are popular and trying to build off of their success. And I don't think that's a good direction for the series to go. In fact, I don't think this should be an annual release anyways. I think it's coming way too soon, coming this October. That's clearly something they're doing for the shareholders. That's not a good business decision. They are going to drive this franchise into the ground, and nobody's going to care about it in the future. They're making way too many of these, in my personal opinion. Other games they showed that I couldn't really get that excited about, they showed The Division 2, which the trailer that they showed actually looked really cool. But the gameplay reminded me a lot of the original Division, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. I know a lot of people like that game, just not my style. Thankfully, there are a ton of games out there. There's clearly a game for everyone, and I know a lot of people are going to love the Division 2. And also, they talked about Trials, which I love Trials. I've played it on my Xbox 360 to death. They're coming out with a sequel to it, and it's going to be available on the Nintendo Switch as well, which is kind of a godsend, because I feel like a lot of these companies at E3 are skipping Nintendo when it comes to releases. And Trials is an awesome game. The only problem I have with it is it feels like every level's the same with it, so I don't know how much a sequel is going to add to that, but I am interested to see how it progresses when it comes out. Overall, like I said, it's going to be really hard for me to grade this one because this wasn't exactly appealing to me as a gamer. It's more of a different audience that Ubisoft is going for, and for that audience, I think they'll be satisfied. I know a lot of people are pissed off they didn't announce a new Splinter Cell game or a new Rayman game, but outside of those franchises, for the most part, they hit on everything that they're known for, and they appeased as many people as they possibly could from my viewpoint. And with all that being taken into consideration, I'm giving Ubisoft a B- on this presentation. It didn't completely blow me away. It didn't really present me with anything that I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. There was a really cool moment with Shigeru Miyamoto being invited on stage during the Starlink presentation, announcing Star Fox being a part of it. That was one of the first transcendent moments of E3 2018. But outside of that, it was a pretty basic conference that just discussed a bunch of games that we kind of expected. Anyways, that's how I felt about the Ubisoft presentation at E3 2018. Let me know down below what you guys thought of it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.